I want to just talk a little bit today about sleep training. I'm not an expert, I'm just a mom, a first-time mom, and I just wanted to share what's been working for us because I know sleep training is hard and a lot of people are against it. A lot of people feel that it's 100% necessary. And so I just want to share a little bit about what happened with us and how we did it, how I did it, and how it's going for us because we're not done by any means. And if there's anything that resonates with you and your experience, maybe this will work for you too. So my baby has what's known as silent reflux, and for I think from weeks 3 to weeks 8, she did not lay down on her back ever. She slept in somebody's arms, my husband's arms, my mom's arms, my dad's arms, somebody. We had her on our chest, and she would sleep like that. And she still had trouble bringing up acid and stuff every hour or so, but at least she didn't wake up. And so that's how we slept. Around the 2-month mark, I could see she was having less trouble, and we started sleeping her laying down after that. Controversial. She sleeps on her stomach. That's the only way she can sleep if she sleeps on her back. Now I think she's okay, but at that time, if she slept on her back, every 10 to 15 minutes, she'd wake up choking on acid and halfway digested food. And so even though we held her upright or whatever. Anyway, the point is that we built that kind of crutch where she was falling asleep in our arms for, I guess, 5 weeks at least. And so I think she's sleeping right now. I'm just checking on her. She's on her tummy, but we have an owlet monitor, and that's the way that I guess, justified that to myself. She also started, when we started not holding her, I felt like it was going to be a really hard transition from being held 100% of the time, and then occasionally being put down for a nap, but being like observed. I was concerned that she wouldn't be able to sleep in the crib, or it's a pack and play. It's the only thing that fits in our room. And and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put her in our bed. And so that's what I did, again with the outlet monitor on her. And we gave her a lot of space in our king size bed. She took up half of it because I was so nervous about us being close to her. And we had my husband on the other side of me and her on the other side, and I didn't sleep well, we'll put it that way. Um, but that transition was actually really easy. She didn't seem to have a hard time with that. But part of the whole having her fall asleep in our arms thing was walking her around to get her to fall asleep. And so that just continued. We kept doing that. And what, previously was 5 to 10 minutes of walking turned into 30 minutes of walking. And what was previously a 10-pound baby turned into a 15-pound baby. And so when she was about, I guess it was just a few weeks ago, she was just a little bit before 5 months, I was like, I can't do this anymore. She's taking 4 naps, she's going to bed, and she's getting up and going back to bed. So it's 6 times that I was walking around our room carrying her for like a half an hour until she would fall asleep, and then I'd like very carefully put her down and sneak out of the room. It's like I can't do that anymore. My back, I couldn't sleep. My back was killing me. And I was like, we have to do some kind of sleep training. And so I actually started with the Ferber method, and that lasted one day. It lasted like 2 attempts because the crying, I couldn't take the crying. And then and I know you're only supposed to wait, you're supposed to wait minute intervals or whatever, but it was 1 minute felt fine. But after that, it felt like it was just too long. And the only reason that she wasn't really putting herself to sleep was because she was flipping over and getting stuck. So she would flip over, I assume looking for us. She would flip over onto her back, because I mentioned she sleeps in her stomach. But then she would try to get back onto her stomach to go to sleep, because that's how she sleeps best. And she can't. She can't flip from her back to her stomach, only from her stomach to her back. And so then she would drop her pacifier, starting to kind of cry a little bit, and then she would scream. So, oh yeah, we use pacifier too. Controversial again. And so the only reason she was really crying is because she got stuck on her back, or like a little cockroach, or she had dropped her pacifier, or she just wasn't like, she was having a little trouble falling asleep because she's, like not even 5 months old. And so I made a decision to try something else. And I did it while my husband wasn't here because he can't even take like 30 seconds of crying. And so what I do is I do a routine. I think a lot of people do routines. I just do a little routine. I lay her down, I give her her lovey and her pacifier. I put on her owlet sock, and I take away her lovey because I don't give that to her in the crib. And then I do walk her like I used to, but I only walk her for about 30 seconds. I sing a song, and when the song is done, I put her down. I kiss her head and I put her down. And then I leave the room. And so I had been kind of doing that routine anyway, except that the walking was like forever. But I had already been doing that little routine before that. So basically, I just cut out the walking. And what I do is put her down, leave. If she's kind of like talking and like just whining, I don't go in. But when she starts to cry, I wait 1 minute, I go in, I pick her up, and I kind of like sway a little bit or rub her back a little bit. And I sing that same song in my head, not out loud, but in my head. And when it's done, I put her back down. And then I leave the room. And I do it as many times as it takes. It has never taken more than 3 times. I say that now, it's only been 2 weeks, but it has never taken more than 3 times. She's at an age where she wants to go to sleep though. She's a little over 5 months now. Like I said, we started this like a week before she turned 5 months. And so she wants to sleep. There will probably come a point where she wants to stay awake and play, And when that happens, I guess we will have to maybe extend the times, kind of like the Ferber method and everything. But I don't think I can go in and not pick her up. That does not comfort her. Like me just going in and like talking to her is not comforting in any way to her. So um, that may change, but for now, that's good enough. My back feels a million times better. Even if I'm waiting and I know she's not asleep and I know she's probably gonna cry, I can still like do stuff. I'm not losing 3 hours of my day walking. Um, any of you moms out there that exclusively pump like I do know that you do not have that kind of time when you're already pumping like 3 hours a day. And any mom, you're just busy, working moms with other kids, all this stuff. There's always things going on. We don't have time to walk around for 3 hours every day. So anyway, that's what's working for us. If you're not feeling the traditional methods of sleep training, then don't do them. Do something that makes your life, better, but not just yours, theirs too, and just works for your family. You can alter them, you can adjust them, you don't have to stick to one strict method, and you can definitely change things. That's another thing too. If you try it, give it a few days, try a little longer than me if you can. But if it's not working, maybe wait a few weeks and try again, or try something else. Um, there's not one right thing for every single, like there's not one right thing for everybody. Everybody is different. Every baby's different. Every family situation is different. Our baby sleeps in our room, for example, and I just wasn't sure. So like the whole like staying in the room thing doesn't work for us because then like the only place that really there is for us is in bed, and then it's kind of like co-sleeping in a way because she's right next to my face. So that didn't really work. And anyway, everything is different for everybody. So figure out what works for you, and do that, and don't let anybody make you feel bad about it either. As long as you're doing safe things, not sleeping them on their stomach, for example, then there's no reason why you can't do it. So yeah, and if you can do cry it out, don't let anybody make you feel bad about that either. It just be understanding when somebody says it doesn't work for them and their baby, because it doesn't work for my baby. I can tell she isn't to the point yet where she needs that kind of insistence on nap time. And we may get there eventually, but we aren't there right now. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. If anybody is interested in some stuff about silent reflux, I got a lot. So if anybody out there is curious or looking for other people going through the same thing, I can share about that too. And another video. But for now, sleep training, hard, but make it work for you. That's all. Yeah. Good luck, everybody.